Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dee. Welcome if you're new. Long time no see. I have been taking this 1 month long hiatus from YouTube. So today I thought I might just come back and then have some discussions and some talk about what I've been paying attention to and what I've been thinking. So I've heard a lot of news about the other lockdown in China, another round of lockdown, this time in tier 1 cities like Shanghai, Shenzhen, and whatnot. I heard some friends in China telling me that they were super surprised that even though they live in this international, super open city, that they still have to go through the same draconian lockdown that other people in smaller towns, smaller provinces such as Xi'an had to go through before. And they were just super taken off guard by that. I personally feel for them, but at the same time, I find that statement incredibly naive because they believe that just because they live in these first tier cities that they were able to be exempt from the sufferings that this system inflicted on them. They had this naivety to think that just because they enjoy certain privileges in these cities that come with the system, that they were able to be kind of immune to the harms. And I find that to be the common problem that young people in China my age are sharing, is that we tend to take ourselves too seriously and we don't understand how we are still living in this top-down system where the majority of the policies that will affect our life were made based on the central government's will, and if they don't change how they believe, how they want this country to become, then eventually it will come for all of us, and it's only the matter of time. Yeah, sure, you enjoy some benefits and conveniences by living in the first tier cities when nothing bad went on, but once shit hits the fan, it will come to you. It will come for you. And then you will be just as vulnerable as somebody who's in a third tier city. And doesn't even matter how much money you have because you're not in power. And then another problem that a lot of Chinese people my age, not to say that I would be any different if I were to still living in China because of the restrictions on information sources you can get your hands on. But I'm just saying, now that I look at it, I find that we really neglect that the system is built on this fundamental premise that they're creating a better utopian world for everyone, that they have everyone's best interest, that they have people's best interest at heart. That's why everything they do can be justified. Like the ends justifies the means. That's why if in the process people get hurt or some people's rights got infringed on, it's fine because ultimately it's for the betterment of all people in that system, in that country. So they could always use that as an excuse to do all of these draconian measurements, this time the zero COVID policy. And I'm going to insert a quick video of what happened with this one young man in Shenzhen.
你现在是不是十几天没有做核酸了？你别跟我说是我的个人问题。不，我查过，没有这个不构成违法。有，不能违法。我在我家里危及公共，我在我家危及什么？我在家里我都没有说过，我危及谁？那你去管控区，你有十几天没跟我上，每天都在敲门，10天都在敲门。我晚上睡觉，我白天睡觉，晚上醒来有问题。你一天24小时不可以的，对呀。好了，来。
So this goes to show that no matter where you are, as long as you are under this top-down system, you're not going to be exempt from the repercussion from it. And the reason why this system is like this is because it was built on violence. And think back to last century when the party decided that there were these oppressors, like the landlord, the bourgeoisie, and the capitalist, who take advantage of the farmers, the workers, and the people who had less power, allegedly, even though at the time it wasn't always like that. And a lot of the landlords were able to create jobs for the farmers to grow crops, and they were able to provide economy to make the economy going. But because there were some abuses happening, and the party took advantage of that, and they used this narrative, this aim for equality to create these revolutions, and they claim to help the poor, the people who were disadvantaged, by redistributing the wealth from the richer, the landlords. I've been watching this economist Milton Friedman's speech recently, and then his one quote really stuck with me because it spoke to China's case perfectly. Let me read it. You can only aim at equality by giving some people the right to take things from others. What ultimately happens when you aim for equality is that A and B decide what C shall do for D, except that they take a little bit of a commission off on the way, which perfectly described what happened in China. And what happened to these landlords was that they lost their livelihood. My great-grandfather was a so-called rich farmer because he owned lands, but the way he got a land was not by exploiting poor people. He was himself a very, very poor, dirt poor person. He had to be a beggar his whole life, and he would take my grandfather to the streets to beg for money, for food, and then he saved saved money for his whole life so that he could buy some acres of land for his future generations. And he did. Before he died, he told my grandfather that he wanted his body to be buried into those land that he bought. And then the party members came in, and then they took all the land by force, and then they dug up my great-grandfather's body, and they chased my grandfather and my grandmother out of their home. This was what happened to my family, and my both sides of families were bullied because of this title. They were the rich farmers, or slightly closer to the landlord. They were the oppressors, even though they were just as poor as everyone else. So that was how dangerous this pursuit for absolute equality is, because absolute equality will not be achieved in real life. Because if you want to ensure absolute equality, then you will have to use coercion. And when you force people to take out their own wealth to give to others who they don't even know, they don't even have any connections with, and that will cause a lot of paranoia in the ruling class. Because when you force people, when you use violence to take others' shit, you will become worried that one day they might do the same to you. That's why in these systems, purges constantly happened, and it is inevitable that purges would happen, which is what's happening in reality. And then that's why they place such a huge emphasis on stability now in China, because the more you emphasize something, the more it shows you're insecure about it. And that is why it's no surprise that when you have a concentrated power that is unchecked, they are going to do things that crosses the line. And there's no surprise about that. There's a saying that absolute power corrupts absolutely. So I want to just end this video with one quote from Ronald Reagan. The 9 most terrifying words in the English language is, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." So I want this to serve as a warning for people who still have the power to check their government or to check the people who are in power. And I hope you can see what could have happened if you allow this power to go unchecked, and when you don't remain that balance between the people in power and then the people who are just everyday civilians and who just want to be left alone. So that is my video for today, and I hope to hear your feedback, and if you have any disagreements with me, please point it out to me as well. I would love to have some discussions. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.